So now to the bank accounts and the digital dollar. President Biden is moving closer to taking control of our monetary system, pushing us to a digital dollar. It's something we've been warning about for 2 years on this show, and on the face of it, it may sound convenient, right? That's how they're going to couch it to you, that it's convenience. That don't worry about cash. Don't worry about those coins that rattle around in your purse, because now you'll just have one simple ID that you can use on any smartphone. Scan it, move it, doesn't matter. Bus stop, train station, your Amazon deliveries, whatever you want. It's all in a digital ID. It's all right there, and we'll use this digital dollar. You won't use Bitcoin because we don't want to let you use Bitcoin. You'll use the American Federal Reserve built digital dollar. In March of 2022, President Biden took the biggest steps yet to sign an executive order, again, one of these executive orders, requiring the Federal Reserve to research, experiment, and evaluate the risks and benefits of a digital dollar. So Tom Emmer, House Majority Whip Congressman Tom Emmer this week, just introduced a brand new bill to stop Biden from moving to a digital dollar by using executive emergency powers. It's called the CBDC Anti-Surveillance Act to ban unelected bureaucrats in D.C. from issuing a central bank digital currency in the United States. That's what CBDC stands for. So Emmer, Congressman Emmer, says the White House is about to introduce an authoritarian style and surveillance style digital dollar through, again, executive orders. Watch.
Last week, I introduced the Central Bank Digital Currency Anti-Surveillance State Act to halt the efforts of unelected bureaucrats here in Washington, D.C. from stripping Americans of their right to financial privacy. Digital assets in the digital economy are the future, but the Federal Reserve should play no role in developing a central bank digital currency, or otherwise known as a CBDC. The consequences, if we get it wrong, are far too serious. The Biden administration is currently itching to create a digital authoritarian-style surveillance-style digital dollar. And through an executive order, they are pursuing analysis on a retail CBDC that would not be open, permissionless, or private.
So,
I mean, you would think this would be bipartisan. This is something that AOC can get out there and really, champion in her fancy tax the rich type clothes.
you mean the anti-digital dollar?
Yeah, you would think that this would be, that this would be bipartisan.
You would think.
That nobody wants a centralized banking system that will give more power to central government.
Where's Elizabeth Warren on this?
Yeah.
Right?
Bernie Sanders. This is a great cause for them to champion around.
And it is about tracking, right? It's about tracking, and it's about total control. And again, this is what Catherine Austin Fitts, the brilliant Catherine Austin Fitts, has been talking about for 2 years, 3 years, maybe even longer than that, on this specific issue. Tucker had her on the other night, and I thought that this was really, she nailed the concerns about the CBDC, about the digital currency, and why we should all be focused on this. Watch.
So, Tucker, the one of the bedrocks of freedom is freedom to do financial transactions, including privately, or freedom to do where you want to do and wherever you want to do. And unfortunately, as the financial system has become more and more digital, you see more and more not only invasive surveillance, but more and more controls. You referred to Canada, perfect example. And the reality, as the financial system gets more controlling and more invasive, it's a little bit like bringing up a corral around us. And CBDCs, central bank digital currencies, and vaccine passports or digital IDs are sort of the last shutting of the gate. It's hard for many people to imagine the risks here because we're so used to living with financial transaction freedom, and we don't understand that when this gate closes on us, we literally will be sitting in a system where the central banks believe that our assets belong to them, and they can dictate where we can spend money and what we can spend money on. The important thing to understand is central bank digital currencies are not currencies. It gives the ability for the central bankers, and they've said this publicly, the ability to not only set the rules centrally, but enforce the rules centrally. If you don't behave, you can have your money turned off.
So again, and I see people in the chat saying cash is king, and that's the thing, right? They were telling us during COVID, oh, don't touch cash because it has COVID on it.
Yes.
Remember that? I mean, this is literally coming, it was coming from the government. Don't touch cash because you might be able to transfer COVID. So it's better just to do everything contactless, move away from cash. Mm-hmm. And I got to say, like, I've been telling you guys on the show, every chance I get is, have cash, get cash, use cash, do as much as you can in that way. And also, of course, making sure that you've got like precious metals as a protection against this, because it's coming. It's coming. And when they start to control us with this digital dollar, that's going to be the way that they're going to tell you your government benefits, your movement, tracking, and climate is going to be tied to all of this, all of it.
I'm going to recommend the book Layered Money by Nick Bhatia, because it's an amazing history of physical currencies and into digital currencies. And there was never any reason for governments to be in control of currencies and make them state-run. And no government has ever showed themselves to be responsible with a national currency. Never. And so to continue to mount power onto these elected officials who then pass it off to unelected officials is insane to me. There's no way that you can slice this and feel good about it.
All praises and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahushai Bahasham Ha-Rekah Kodash. Double honors to our apostles and elders which rule Great Millstone Well. And Shalom to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. May you endure into the end. Shalom wa abab abal. Alright, so the direction the world is heading is into the device, what you see on your screen, the size of a grain of rice, which the wicked, the so-called white man that rules the world, he's going to make this device mandatory, that you have it implanted in your body for buying and selling. That's why that rich
or from a track record perspective.
It's here in Washington, D.C., from some unelected bureaucrats.
Watch.
Last week, I introduced the center
through, again, executive orders. Watch.
Last week, I
stop Biden from moving to a digital dollar by using executive emergency powers. It's called the CBDC Anti-Surveillance Act to ban unelected bureaucrats in D.C. from issuing a central bank digital currency in the United States. That's what CBDC stands for. So Congressman Emmer, says the White House is about to introduce an authoritarian style and surveillance style digital.
That's the point I wanted to make. The Congressman Emmer, all right, he's protesting it because it's going to be mandatory on the rich also. All right? It tells you that in Revelation 13, it speaks about the M.O.T.B. Revelation 13, verse 11, and I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, which is America, and he had two horns like a lamb, which is the party, Democrat and Republican, and he spake as a dragon. When you go into that, it's meaning that he's pushing draconian law. Pretty much they'll be able to sentence you to death if you go against their law. See? It says right here. Trying to highlight it after Genesis 13. There's a comma that it says, is derived the figurative description of the devil in Revelation 12:3-17. So when you go to Revelation 12, which will go right to the point, verse 12, it says, "Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil, the so-called white man, is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time." Alright? So he's going to come down with violence, using his executive orders, making it mandatory that you have a device implanted inside your body for buying and selling. And that device is a micro CHIP, which they're going to make mandatory. That's the New World Order. Alright? Now, going back to Revelation 13. It says in verse 11, And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, America, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, which is the Republican and the Democrat, and he spake as a dragon, which he comes down with great wrath, using his executive orders. Pretty much he's going to sign laws where they're able to put you to death, just like the man said. You're not going to be able to buy or sell. It says in verse 16, "And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name," which will condemn you. So it's a trap, you know. If you take it, it's going to condemn you to the worst death known to man. And then if you don't take it, though, they're going to threaten you with death. And a lot of people are going to die for not taking it. All right, whether they starve, whether they just die, you know, from the guillotine or whatever. Death and destruction is coming upon this place because the so-called white man, the devil the Bible speaks of, knows that he hath but a short time. 2nd Esdras so like it slipped me. But that's where they're headed with it. They're going to make it mandatory for buying and selling. Reject it.